You ready?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
There's no music.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Street Fight Radio, the stream show, the Zoom show, the over the airwave show that is coming to you every single Wednesday. This week we are on the air, but next week we'll be at the headquarters. I don't know.
We're
trying to be
always
honest.
on the air.
I'm trying to be honest about my location. It's not great. It's not the best place to do radio from, I feel like. But it's just, I have my kid tonight, so I gotta, do the fatherly duties.
It's funny because it's your apartment. Like, I'm looking at your apartment.
Yeah, it's not a good place to be doing a podcast from. I'd rather do it from the place we pay money to rent.
Me too, baby.
That's more impressive to say that I rent a place and have somewhere to do it from, but that's just not the life.
I almost went there today because Drew Toothpaste was our guest on the MCU movie review show.
Right.
And I was like, oh, I could go there and me and Drew could be in studio. And then I would look like a really big deal because I'm bringing a guest into the studio that we rent.
Yeah, makes sense.
We're fucking ballers, man. We're just ballers.
No,
I don't know why I'm giving people the side of my face.
Barely balling.
Yeah, balling on a budget.
Hanging on. Yeah, balling on a budget is what we do best.
Yeah, we're great at it.
We make it a lot. We make a less look like a lot.
I cannot figure out why I look like I'm off to the side. All right. I think that's going to be the best I can do right now. I'm adjusting my camera. I got like 8 things going on and I hate to do that, but like if I could go behind the scenes real quick, I upload all of the series, right, to Google Drive. And if I don't do them as soon as they're done, I will not do it. So I like have to do it. So that's what I'm doing.
It's important.
So how are you doing, Brett?
Well, I had a shit ass day. Not really, but I did.
Well, you did have to watch Disaster Movie. Was that the worst part of your day?
Watching Disaster Movie was a trial. It was very hard to get through. But it was not the worst. No, there was a culmination of things with my car. I wanted to get it fixed. I had to get it fixed, like I said. And man, I just hate fucking cars so much. I just dealing with them is the worst. And I wish I never would have got one.
Really? Like, what is happening with the car now?
Well, okay, so here's the thing. I'm going to tell you, I feel an incredible amount of shame about it, so I'm not going to reveal too much information. But to get the headlight replaced on this car, you have to take the bumper off.
No.
And there's lots of YouTube videos that show you how you can spend your entire afternoon taking the bumper off your car and replacing a light bulb. And then there's like one hillbilly video that's like 6 minutes long where it has zero explanations. Just a guy that's like, you loosen this up and you take this and you move it around, you hook it, you don't loop it, and then you get it out in 10 to 15 minutes. But I thought there was an electrical problem with my car. I took it in. They were like, you just need a new headlight. That's all we're going to do is replace the headlight, but we have to take the bumper off. So it costs a ton of money. And it's one of those things where like, I hate the fucking auto mechanic so much. Like, I just have to accept, like, it's a misogynistic place that makes me feel super unwelcome. And I think it's bullshit. It's the same way that like IT people are with computers, where it's like, we all rely on cars and we all rely on computers, and congratulations, you understand how they work. And you have the time to have a garage and all the tools to replace a fucking light bulb, but I don't. And I'm going to pay an amount of money that makes me feel embarrassed. Like I should have just done it myself, but I just don't, I don't do that anymore. I don't fuck with cars. My hands are too soft. My face is too pretty. I don't fuck with cars anymore in any way. I don't care how they get going. And I hate the way that I feel when I go to get my car fixed. And it's all a big waste of money. I hate it. I hate having cars. This thing is driving me fucking nuts, dude.
I hate having cars too. I mean, when they're bad, there are not a lot of things that are worse.
And if they're not brand new, they're bad. That's the thing. I don't have a brand new car. Only brand new cars are good. The old ones are all shit buckets that require just a lot of money on hand to be able to throw down all the motherfucking time.
I can't think of a worse situation where you would have to take a bumper off of a car. I cannot.
It should
think
be
of a
illegal.
worse thing.
It's so unsafe. It's so unsafe that you can't just plug a light bulb in and out. You should, like we've always said, the police should be pulling you over and saying, hey, here is a universal light bulb that fits every motherfucking vehicle on the road. I'm going to plug it in and fix this safety situation immediately. I don't know how in the fucking world that you would have to do this much to take a fucking light bulb out.
Yeah. No, you should never have to pop your trunk to pop your trunk. You can pop your hood, and
it should be like a light bulb in your house. Unscrew it. Yes, it should be a light bulb in your house.
Yeah. So yeah, man, that fucking blows, dude. Like, my thing with the car has been that I bought a car with a tire with a slow leak, and I think that I am too cheap to replace it, and didn't want to take it back in to get them to put a new tire on. So we're just constantly refilling the slow leak tire, and we'll do so until it pops.
You got to get out of that lifestyle. That's never worth it. I will buy a whole brand new tire and just be done with it. Like, you don't have to go bug somebody else, but get that out of there. That's not worth it. It's like such a drain on your fucking joy to, like, anytime you're trying to go to somewhere, you're just always looking at that little orange light that's blinking. You're like, fuck, it could blow at any moment. You know, that's not worth it.
I fucking hate indicator lights so fucking much. Like, indicator lights are the absolute shits, and like, they bum everybody out. From like, anytime one of those lights comes on in my car, Brett, no matter what the light means, Katie tries to get me to get an oil change.
Sure.
Every time she's just like, I think this might need an oil change. So
let me tell you how I feel. A little bit of thing that made me fills me with a little bit of anxiety is that, like, when I post about not wanting to work on my car and paying somebody else to do it, how there's like millions of fucking dudes that think that you can just look up YouTube and fix a vehicle. Like, it's like a 2,000 fucking pound vehicle, you know, that people are slapped together, that everyone thinks that you can just like work on it yourself. You can plug an ECU in. I don't know. I don't feel like I want to drive on the roads. I feel like it should only be in the hands of professionals. I don't feel like I should be doing any of this shit myself at all. Like, because if I got to share the road with other people, nobody can afford to maintain these fucking things and make sure they're okay, you know, but we're all just like doing a cannonball run on the freeway with cars that, like, people got to get to their job, you know, and they're just going to slap together whatever they got, like the rest of us.
You know what's funny about what you just said is that, like, I don't know who I was talking to. God damn it. Who was I recently talking to who said the same thing? Like, you can watch a YouTube video and fix it. And I believe that you can watch a YouTube video and fix it. Here's the problem with that, Brett. You also need the tools to fix it. Which is where the problem comes in, because if you don't have the tools, then you're fucked anyway. And who has a bunch of tools?
I mean, and the thing about it is, it's like you sit and you watch a video to do a 4-hour job, but then you end up like stripping a bolt, and then you have to like drill something out now, and then or you bang your fucking hand on the inside of somewhere, or a gasket gets cut out somewhere. Like, there's just so much knowledge that's required to do this. And YouTube is great, for democratizing information. But I don't think that everybody should be forced to work on their fucking vehicle out of because they don't have any money, just because being forced to.
You're talking universal car care.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it sounds like that's what you're trying to get at here.
I'm into a minimum wage of car safety and acceptance and standards. If something isn't fit for the road, we'll fit you right up with. There's plenty of useless cars sitting around. But yeah,
I don't know if you're looking at the chat, Brett, but Think Thirsty said, I recently paid off a 2015 Kia Soul, and while I'm glad to not have a car payment, not feeling great about that choice.
Yeah, it's hard to sit in a vehicle that was made to be affordable, not to be the best vehicle or the safest vehicle. It was just meant to be within someone's payment range.
Yeah. I'll say this though. Any paid off car is good.
They're great.
I have to say that if your car's paid off, I don't fucking give a shit what kind of car it is. You give me a 2015 paid off Kia Soul. The reason I got rid of my Kia Soul, except for that it was a total piece of shit, was that I still owed $7,000 on it.
Right.
And I was like, this car's not only a massive piece of shit, but I'm going to be paying for it for another 2 years. And I don't think it's going to make it another 2 years. It was in hospice when I got rid of it.
Yeah.
But I always just think that if I can get a paid off car, one, I would fix stuff. You know what I'm saying?
No, I wouldn't. No, never. I don't want to be involved with that. I mean, I guess I would set aside money to pay somebody else to do it, but I'm glad to have, they can be the experts at that, so I go to the car mechanic place and the guy saw my car, which has a gigantic ice wall mural on one side and a cobra fighting a panther on the front. And he looks at me and he goes, you're the art car, right? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, me and my guys were wondering, when are you going to get the right side done? And it made me so fucking mad. It was good. It's ball busting. I'm not that sensitive, but it just made me hate the fucking auto mechanics.
Thinking of it like a tattoo. He thinks you got a tattoo on your car that needs a little more work. I got
a Warped Tour bodysuit. I got a pathetic car paint. Yeah.
Let's just do that. Let's just fucking be real here, dude. You're totally right about universal car insurance.
Yeah, I don't, it's the same thing as I feel like crime goes away when people aren't desperate. So I don't want people to be desperate. I also feel like catastrophes on the road will go away when people aren't responsible for getting on YouTube to try to fix their Honda Civic for $89 instead of having someone do the repair the correct way.
Yeah. And the repairs are so expensive, but it's I understand that the mechanics deserve to get paid. It's just they've had 50 years of bad press. It's really hard not to think the worst of them. In my opinion.
I don't know. I just feel like maybe it's because the thing about it though is that I'm dealing with a sales guy. I'm not even dealing with a mechanic, so that's probably unfair because this guy is treating me like a moron because I came to a mechanic. It just seems like they assume you know nothing and that you're helpless, and they explain it to you and they just, I don't know. It's just the worst experience to me.
Yeah, for sure. And Think Thirsty said, man, those dudes are absolutely telling each other about the guy with the painted Prius, which is a really funny thought. I mean, and your car came up earlier this week on social media in another place, didn't it?
Oh yeah. Somebody posted on a meme about the sixth picture in your camera roll is what killed you. And it was someone posted a picture of my car and said, I saw this IRL. It was insane. I can't believe someone has this.
That has got to make you feel good.
Yeah, I'm killing it. I'm crushing it. I'm doing very well for myself. I'm really not that mad about it. They just cost too much and they're not necessary. I wouldn't have chose cars as like transportation. I like bikes. I like buses.
It's the kid. You got a kid. You got to get places with the kid. I fully believe that if you were Brett from 2011 still, you would still have just rode bikes all the time. I feel like what broke you on the bike thing is Texas. You got screwed in fucking Texas. And that's what kind of got you out of the habit. And I mean, you had a kid, but I'm just saying, like,
no, I liked riding in Texas. Actually, I rode a lot, but they were also assholes. Tell me, and it was hot.
Yeah, you used to tell me that people were mean and shit in Texas.
DC was the one that shut me down because it was absolutely unacceptable. There was no place to ride bikes, and they do not want you to ride bikes in Washington, DC. Dallas had like an outlaw culture of bike people, but like DC was just like we kill cyclists every year.
Let's take a look at some news. I got a piece from the New York Times here that I saw. California is doing something good for it. You know what's funny, dude?
I like Cali.
Yeah, when California comes up with a new law that makes the conservatives really mad, it's always a good law. It's always good.
They earn their position. They know how to be the best villain for conservatism.
Yeah. Among the pandemic's biggest economic winners is Amazon, which nearly doubled its annual profit last year to $21 billion and is on pace to far exceed that total this year. The profits flowed from the millions of Americans who value the convenience of quick home delivery, but critics complain that the arrangement comes at a large cost to workers, whom they say the company pushes to physical extremes. But that labor model could begin to change under a California bill that would require warehouse employers like Amazon to disclose productivity quotas for workers whose progress they often track using algorithms.
Wow.
That's
crazy.
Yeah. I think that's a super good.
Check the metrics. It's unreasonable. And especially because like we're 100 years away from like when the unions were people that did bombs and gun stuff, overworking, over 8 hours a day. And these computers have us doing the job of like 4 people in 4 hours. Like the productivity is at an all-time high. They're extracting the most. They're trying to put fucking exoskeletons on people at Amazon. So yeah, there should be some sort of limit on how much you require. It should be a lot lower than what they want. But it's at least, I think that's the thing that most is the most frustrating, being born as a baby and then seeing adults and thinking that adults were in charge of stuff and then growing up and realizing they never have any sort of tough conversations and never confront anything that's worthwhile. I think it's a good discussion to talk about what metrics are, because that's a barbecue conversation. That's a backyard conversation, but publicly we need to say that the metrics are too motherfucking high. Like they always been. And it's just getting more outrageous the more that they control everything with GPS and all the other monitor systems they got.
So, I mean, do you remember the worst metric that you had to live by any chance? Like, do you bring, because I have one for myself.
Yeah, I mean, I would say for me, it would probably call queue. When I worked at Discover Car doing collections, I would get really pissed wanted to get to, and I would collect, $20,000 for the week, and I would be done on a Wednesday. And I would kind of mill around and like not take calls on Thursday and Fridays and not really try to do any extra effort because that's what they wanted. And so that was one for me, I guess.
Like I would say the one for me that I have always hated. Well, 2. 1, I will go with the call center thing too. 6-minute call times. was
Yeah.
that was a game changer for me in how I deal with people over the phone that I'm working with, and also how I decide that I'm going to be like, okay, like I know what we're working on, what time level we're working on. You know, we're not like, our interests aren't necessarily aligned here. I might have a problem that is complicated, and your problem is that you really need to make sure I'm off the phone in 6 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the beginning, was even with like doing fast food stuff. I remember them putting like an actual timer up where you had like 90 seconds to get things done. And you know, nobody's set up from before. There's not enough time in the day to get everything ready, and you're just watching things fall apart in real time, and you're getting together an excuse. And that's what most of your day is apologizing to people instead of providing any sort of level of service. Because you've been set up for they have these requirements on paper that make sense, and that the board requires, and that financially seem to work, but aren't attainable by any part of the workforce without an incredible amount of turnover.
Yes. And I would say that like I never experienced it with, when I worked at McDonald's, they didn't do that. They didn't do that amount of time. Like they didn't give you an amount of time. But since then, I've been to like a few places where it has been like a clock right by the second window of the drive-through, and it has like, it tells you when it was supposed to be there. And like the most evil thing that corporations do to customer service workers is like when they let people know, like giving a time. Like I've noticed lately, if I order food to pick up over the internet, you know, if I go on and order from their thing, that they will give you an exact time. It's like, this food's going to be done at 7:52. And I get to the restaurant and I'm furious if it's not ready by at least 7:55. And I know that I'm wrong in that situation. I totally fucking know that I'm wrong to get furious about it, but it's uncontrollable in me. It feels like it's so hard. I recently went to a place, I think they're only in Ohio. It's a place called Piata, which is basically they make spaghetti burritos.
Yeah.
That's the easiest way to explain Piata.
Yeah, but, tortillas and spaghetti together, finally.
People have been trying to get spaghetti burritos forever.
People have been doing it on the sly at their houses, you know, but finally we're out in the open. We're doing a burrito with spaghetti in it.
God, I just admitted this on Twitter, so I can say it on the show. I've never admitted this to people before. Some nights when I get super stoned and I'm hungry and there's nothing that like I would really want to eat,
okay,
I will take Cool Ranch Doritos if we have them. Sometimes we don't have Cool Ranch Doritos, and I'll crush them up in a tortilla and then just roll it up like a burrito and eat it.
Okay.
Dry burrito tortilla.
Dusty burrito. Dusty
so
burrito.
Dry. Yeah, I'm just standing there with a drink next to me after every bite. But the consistency of every bite is so good.
I get
Crunchy,
it.
soft.
It's like,
yeah.
There's double-decker tacos at Taco Bell.
Yeah, it would be a crazy person thing to do, to put Cool Ranch Doritos in a hard taco shell.
No, it's too much. You'll cut your mouth up.
Yeah, you can't do that, but you can put them in a soft flour tortilla and you got yourself a nice little treat. So that's a little Brian snack thing here. Oh my God. Idea guy in the chat said, I recently been putting teriyaki sauce on white bread and eating that.
You know, the funny thing was like when Taco Bell started selling cheese roll-ups, that was like the most depression ass meal in the world. But then they were like, I mean, if you don't want to get up and microwave a tortilla and some cheese, we'll make it. We'll do it.
Yeah. Oh
We got
yeah, yeah.
sauce
And
to
they're
dip
like
it in.
they're like only $1 or something,
Oh, yeah.
right? Or 59 cents, maybe even. That's actually
It's a good way to shut a baby up when you want to get something good to eat.
yeah, yeah. I wanted to bring up my other metric that I hated. There were 6-minute call times, and then the worst one ever was at the cable company when they decided to intensely focus on one metric, and that metric was called callbacks. And basically, if you went and did a job and then somebody had to go back after that job for whatever reason, it could have been any problem, then it counted against you. And the number was so low that would have to happen. And it was the most uncontrollable metric I ever had. Which it is like there's a good reason for it.
Never make a mistake ever.
Yeah. And it's just anything can happen, dude. When I worked at the cable company, I would sometimes go to the same house like 3 times in 3 weeks and just program their remote control and show them how to use it. Like I did that a lot, dude. Some people just don't. They're just not inclined to use it. And TVs got so confusing that like, I think there was like a generation of people who just were not up with like switching inputs. Like they didn't understand why it takes 5 buttons to watch TV.
Yeah, you're right. Once, they understood there was different cables coming into the back with sources. Those sources really fucked people up. Input and sources like just tripped a lot of people up. We lost so many people.
Yeah, it looks like we have a cable guy or a cable person in the chat because he said, I fucking hate callbacks. Sometimes it has nothing at all to do with the original issue. So why is that on me? And that really is the argument you would have. And Brett, dude, I got put on probation a few times. Like 90-day probation a few times.
Some lonely person had a scrambled screen and then their batteries ran out in their remote and that became a callback.
Oh God, Think Thirsty has one. Bad metric, customer reviews. That is absolutely one of the most you can't control that. You can't control that at all. There's no way. Oh, but I was telling about the Piata trip. I went to Piata. I ordered on their app and I got there and it wasn't ready when I got there. And I stood there for a half hour. And Gwen was with me, and in my head, I was fuming. But I would also be like, hey, I'm trying to be calm. And Gwen would be like, Brian or Dad, you have to be calm, be fucking cool. Okay. And I was like, I'm being calm. But I was like crossing my fingers and tapping my foot and kind of exasperatedly walking around like I did at that car rental place in Denver. Or in Chicago that got us. We ended up getting a car because I threw a tantrum. So it takes a half hour, but there is this other guy next to me that is also waiting. And I hate this fucking guy because he ordered food for him and whoever was with him, his wife or his girlfriend or just a friend. They ordered on separate orders and his order came way after her order. And it's like, that's kind of on you, dude. Like you don't do separate orders. Just
so you found someone to feel better than why you threw a tantrum at a fast food restaurant.
But he was screaming at them, dude.
Oh, wow.
He was being so fucking mean. And he was like yelling. He was like pointing at specific people in the back of the kitchen and being like, what the fuck are you doing? What are you doing? Like, because she wasn't like moving to the speed that he would want to move.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah. And you're just kind of standing there. And then he's fucking looking at me and he feels like me and him are on the same wavelength. And I am not on the same wavelength.
No, you gotta cut that. No, no, I'm a traitor.
I don't know.
I'm a traitor.
I'm on their team. I know.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
with
mad
them.
too.
I'll whoop their ass with you. Like if you start shit against them, I'm taking you out from behind. I got you flanked already. Jump over that counter. I'll snatch you up.
I'm gonna do a heel turn on you. For
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. You better get a chair in the back.
Yeah. Yeah. Like me and this guy are like, and Think Thirsty said, I hope he enjoyed the spit. Unfortunately, at Piata, it's like Chipotle, so you can't spit in the food. They have made
you can lick your hand and wipe it all over the food.
No,
You can turn to the side, lick your hand, and wipe it into anything you want.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it was cool though, because like I was so fucking mad, right? But I didn't.
I don't know why. This is surprising for you. You're like the biggest baby of them all. Like you're usually like you're a findom when it comes to this shit. I'm surprised you didn't did you give him a 200% tip on this?
But I didn't say a word to them. I didn't say anything.
Threw a tantrum in the lobby.
Yeah, I can do it for the chat people. I crossed my arms like this, and since you don't have your face, like that is a key thing that's gone for me. I don't have my face, which I would use my face. But like what I did was I opened my eyes like as wide as possible, just all the way open so you can see white on all the sides. And then I kind of would tap my foot, and then I would throw my hands up in the air and go, and then walk backwards and then back up to the counter.
Man, in those situations, I just grab a booth and throw my feet up and wait for the notification on my phone to say my shit is ready.
Yeah.
Because I've been dealing, I mean, that's everywhere. Chipotle is the same way now. Most of the places, it's so fucked up. Dude, the goddamn school system. Columbus City Schools does not have bus drivers at all. They've got people doing horrendous hours, I'm sure. The bus is late 60 minutes every day of the week, Monday through Friday. There are not nobody is driving these fucking buses.
Yeah.
Nobody's working. Nobody wants to work at these places. Like I don't know. We're at the end of the rope for a lot of their shit.
That service leisure economy that we've been living in for like, since the early 2000s, or since like maybe the mid 2000s. Just me and you would scream and yell on this show that like there's very few places that should be open 24 hours, and everything. There got to be a point where it was like there's fucking places open until 3 a.m. that like, like a fucking O'Charlie's is open till 2 in the morning or Applebee's.
See,
and like,
I'm pro that.
Yeah.
Well, I think shit. Yeah. Sorry.
Shit closes too early now.
They
don't have anybody to do it. Yeah. They don't have anybody to do it, dude. I don't think anybody wants to work third shift anymore. I think that is going to maybe start to be a thing of the past.
Yeah, I mean, and like I think it's the same with like Fight for 15 happened, and now there's jokes about how Fight for 15 doesn't mean shit after inflation, which is right on the money. And it's just like the bad attitudes that the like all of this has like really culminated in a way that I didn't realize I'd get to see. Like it's nice to see that service is fucked up, and that like there is some sort of recognition now of like how much power people have that do these jobs. They can wreck your whole fucking day. They can hold up your goddamn Grubhub. You can order all you want on the motherfucking app. They don't have to make it as fast as the app says.
I agree.
And you'll deal with it because you're fucking looking for the lowest common denominator. You're a race to the bottom, motherfucker. If you're getting your food delivered from like an Einstein Bagels or any fast food motherfucking restaurant, like a Panera or a Piata, like you're pathetic. Just go pick it up. Like,
I did.
Other people, like our ancestors had to go kill things. Like all you have to do is drive 10 minutes away and listen to a brand new album that's fire.
I mean, dude, our fucking parents had to like drive usually a little bit further than we do.
Oh yeah,
in a car that has AM radio. Like in like a crummy car with AM radio, they had to probably not everything was like right next to you. and not everything was available 24 hours a day, brought to your house. I think that is maybe the biggest issue I have with Amazon is like it is such an unrealistic expectation of what your idea of what life should be is. Like it's unrealistic to think that somehow people who are able to get me I bought 2 thermometer probes for my thermometer, my grilling thermometer.
Sure.
And they were $9 and they were at my house the next day, the following day in the morning. And that is an unrealistic expectation of what you should be able to expect from the service industry, I think. Unless these people are making $30 an hour. If the people making this stuff happen are making real money, then it's like, okay, I guess that makes sense.
and it's very peculiar as well, because it feels like if online you're going to sell me a spatula for the lowest amount possible, I feel like I should get it whenever, versus if I go to a store and I have to pay with what they want, pay for what they ask for, you know?
Yeah. Oh God. Cyclone Jack Sullivan in the chat just said, I only do pickup and I don't have a car or a bike. I do that shit on foot. I hope to get an answer from you. Is that cheap? Are you being cheap, or like what is the reason? Yeah, I guess pride. The bill, which the assembly.
What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Besides going to pick up your food, you're going to get an extra TikTok or Twitter or Instagram time in, like 36 minutes of bullshit on your phone.
You're making me like reassess my thought process when I order delivery food.
I'm done. Yeah,
like that.
I've stopped doing it. Like I have like my places. What's really changed for me during quarantine COVID is that like I don't like look for the newest, hottest places and try to get them delivered to my door. I know the places that I can get to that are nearby that have like the Thai food that I want, or Mexican food, whatever it may be, pupusas. There's all kinds of stuff around me that I as my go-to, and I just rely on them over and over again. And yeah, I mean the delivery should. We've talked about it forever, but the styrofoam box lifestyle sucks. It does since forever. But if you can go there and get it, yeah, it's better.
Yeah, and I think when I'm delivering, the true real reason that I'm getting the food delivered to me is because I don't feel like driving.
Yeah,
it's those are the
you're
words.
Giving into an awful feeling. You're giving into a ridiculous feeling that is unnecessary.
I agree.
You have a really nice car to drive that has Bluetooth technology that will play whatever will make you feel good out loud on the speakers.
I mean, I didn't realize that was the reason until Gwen got her license. And every time I go to order food for delivery, she's like, I'll just go pick it up. And I'm like, oh no, a teenager's like less lazy than me.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to get there though, but it costs a lot. Like it hurts you like in the pocketbook. And then I think more than anything, it's, I don't know. I would like to have my like takeout food, or if it's not my groceries and I'm paying someone else to make food for me, I want to be excited enough to get out of my goddamn bed and drive to the place and go pick it up myself. Like, I think it deserves that kind of appreciation. I don't like, otherwise just give me a slop. Like, otherwise just hook me up to a tube.
You're 100% right here, dude. I don't think I ever like took apart my thought process and why I have things delivered. But it is, I mean, there's one place that I have delivered that is impossible to park at. So you have to give me some leeway here.
I know.
Shake Shack, I have delivered.
No, I'm with you. There's actually restaurants I never eat at because of the parking situation. Like, it's unfortunate that they have bad parking, but it's like, I'll never be your customer.
And you like them? Like, have you ever just like, I love Shake Shack. It's one of my favorite places. And I don't even really get it anymore because there's a Five Guys by my house when I'm trying to burg down. So I can just go pick that up. But yeah, there's no parking at this Shake Shack. Absolutely none. And it's in the busiest part of town where there's also no parking. So
Sure, I get it.
you know, I don't do that. But
I mean, yeah, I'm not totally against it. It's just that, I mean, I'm talking to myself mostly. I'm not admonishing anyone else.
No, but
It
you're
is
right.
just like, it's just such a stupid bad behavior that is easy to fix. That isn't like, it's not capitalism that's doing that to me. Like, I could at least appreciate my station in life if I can have a vehicle to get somewhere to make my food happen.
No, and it is a really good point. You know, I mean, there are extenuating circumstances where I think it's totally fine if you don't have a working car. I can definitely see the delivery being a little bit more because you can't just afford a car. You can't really go to the store. Like, I get that. If you were like, you know, it would be ableist to say that like nobody should be able to order food.
No,
but most of us should
yes,
definitely be going and picking our food up. Yeah, I would say 95% of us probably should go pick our food up.
I think that's, and this is the same thing that goes back to like, how much are we asking people to do? Like, are we really asking Amazon employees to touch 100 boxes? That's fucking ridiculous. We should put a cap on that. And it's the same as like, we should have a grown-up conversation about like, why do we have people that work a full-time job and then have to bring things to our house to make $6? Like, why are we willing to just throw $6 instead of just picking up our food ourselves?
I mean, and for me, it's even more because I always pick priority. I always want to be delivered before everybody else.
I didn't know you could do
another $1.50. Oh yeah, there's a choice on Uber Eats.
I mean, I'm quantum about the whole thing. Like, I'm totally a part of the architecture, but it's just absolutely fucking bizarre that we can't even talk about it out loud and acknowledge where we're at. And you know, the same thing is like, I have seen the ads for all the fast food places around me, $12 to $18 an hour at some places, and even like dry cleaners, and you know, like it's working. Like, I don't know what the coronavirus stuff, the stimulus, the unemployment, all of that was enough to put pressure to change the atmosphere, because like working life is in a place that I would not have believed was happening 5 years ago.
Right. And
more people are down on their job and ready to just burn it all than ever before.
Somebody else in the chat said they do it instead of getting a DUI. And you know what? That's a good point.
DUI is perfect reason.
But you probably don't need that food. If you're drunk late at night and you're ordering food to be delivered, you're probably going to fall asleep before the food gets there. It happens. It's the classic drunk guy thing to do. You're like, I need a pizza,
a grand slam breakfast.
Yeah, and then it's 2 a.m. and everybody else that's drunk in town is also doing the same thing. It's like when it's exactly like when you try to go out to you try to get Taco Bell or White Castle or something at 2 a.m.
Oh yeah. And you're just stuck in the middle of a 2-hour party.
Yeah, it's like the longest line. Everybody's screaming at each other,
tailgating a White Castle.
Yeah,
waiting for a truck to deliver new onion chips.
Yeah. Terminations let's see here. The bill which the Assembly passed in May and the state Senate is expected to vote on this week would prohibit any quota that prevents workers from taking state mandated breaks or using the bathroom when needed, or that keeps employers from complying with health and safety laws. The legislation, it's the least amount too, Brad.
I know.
That's the other thing about this is like,
we're going to stand up for workers and say they can use the bathroom when they need to.
Yeah. And they can work 18-hour days still, but they do get a 15-minute break every once in a while, and they're allowed to go to the bathroom, I guess.
Yes.
Of course, a lot of the companies in California are freaking out about it. They're going after one company, but at the same time, they're pulling everyone else in the supply chain under this umbrella. That's fine, dude. Hey, that's 100. I'm fine with that. I think let's get them all in there. It's not gonna hurt anything. Kelly Nantel, an Amazon spokeswoman, declined to comment on the bill, but said in a statement that performance targets are determined based on actual employee performance over a period of time, and that they take into account the employee's experience as well as health and safety considerations. Oh God, if I could see that pie chart.
Yeah, what is
of what they take into consideration.
Yeah, I need to show your work on that.
Yeah. Miss Michelin, the Retail Association president, emphasized that the data was proprietary information and said the bill's proponents want the data because it helps unionize distribution centers. Yeah. Okay. I mean, but Amazon is saying that like, yeah, you just want to know what it is because then you'll be able to start a union because people will realize how fucked over we are.
Yeah, it's not fair that you would judge us. You don't know us. We're a family.
A report by the Strategic Organizing Center, a group backed by 4 labor unions, shows that Amazon's serious injury rate nationally was almost double that of the rest of the warehousing industry in 2020 and more than twice that of warehouses at Walmart, a top competitor. So it sounds like there is a problem if your serious injury rate is double Walmart, which is not a good company.
No, they've been bad since they were bad before Amazon, actually.
Asked about the findings, Ms. Nantel, the Amazon spokeswoman, did not directly address them, but said that the company recently entered into a partnership with a nonprofit safety advocacy group to develop ways of preventing musculoskeletal injuries. She also said that Amazon had invested over $300 million this year in safety measures like redesigning workstations. Well, that's nice, I guess. Who knows? And there were a lot of grandmothers, one worker said in a study underwritten by the Los Angeles County Federation of Labor, another backer of the California bill. Managers would come to these older women and say, hey, I need you to speed up. And then you could see in her face, she almost wants to cry. She's like, this is the fastest my body can literally go.
What?
Yeah.
This is in the court?
This is in a study that somebody did.
Okay.
Yesenia Barrera, a former Amazon worker in California, said that managers told her she needed to pull 200 items an hour from a conveyor belt, unbox them, and scan them. She said she was usually able to reach target only by minimizing her bathroom use. That would be me ignoring using restroom type things to be able to make it, Miss Barrera said in an interview for this article. When the bell would ring for a break, I felt like I had to do a few more items before I took off.
Yeah, that's an absolutely unacceptable speed.
Yeah.
Less than like a half a second for less than half a second.
I'm trying to figure out. I mean, 200 divided by 60, I could give you. I just don't know if that gets the right answer.
No, that's where we're at.
Yeah, but it is like every half second, more than a half second. You have to unbox and remove the stuff. I mean, that's a breakneck pace. That's
not possible.
Yeah, and if people have to, I mean,
it's 60 minutes, not seconds.
60 minutes, yes. But that's still a lot. 200 for 60 minutes. It's like 2 a minute.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know what it should be? I'm going to give you this. 60 boxes per minute is the maximum you're allowed to ever do. That's it.
I think that you should lay the boxes down in front of the people. And then whenever they get done with them, they're done with them.
Yeah. Burl says
there's
in the
no
chat,
requirements of enthusiasm or speed without any sort of promise of anything else beyond what they're offering.
yeah,
Like if it's $12 an hour, I'll get to them when I get to them. If it's $30 an hour, I'll do it with a smile on my face.
I'll do 200 boxes in an hour.
Yeah, I'll do 200 an hour for $30 an hour. Absolutely. I can do that.
Yeah. Miss Gonzalez said that when she met, or you're responding to the speed at which a machine is moving, said Dr. Flores, who has studied injuries in the industry. The greater reliance on robotics, the higher incidence of repetitive motions and thus repetitive injuries. Amazon has been the leader in adopting warehouse robotics. So that's another thing, is like they have robots, but the robots just serve to speed up the line for the humans.
Yeah, the robots spit it out faster for humans.
Yeah. I'm looking.
I mean, robots and humans, it's a good mix until they ruin everything.
During a meeting a few days before the assembly passed this year's bill, she said Amazon officials acknowledged that they could do more to promote the health and safety of their workers, but did not offer specific proposals beyond coaching employees on how to be more productive. Jesus Christ, man.
They're like, yeah, I guess they feel bad about it, but we're just going to cheer them up and try to get them to give a little extra.
Yeah. The story I got this from, Brett, the tweet I got this from was California. Hold on, I got to find it. California is on the verge of passing. Basically, one of the articles, I just read the New York Times one, but one of the articles said they got an Amazon spokesperson that said, if this happens, like that they're basically vigilant to make sure that people aren't stealing time by using the bathroom. Is what they were thinking, like that it would lead to people abusing bathroom breaks.
Yeah, essentially. Yeah, all the bean counters found out that we were using the toilet for a really long time and wanted to like fight against that.
Yeah, this is Noam Schreiber posts this. California is on the verge of passing a bill that would rein in Amazon production quotas. The bill's author says an Amazon official expressed concern that some employees would abuse more generous bathroom time when they met to discuss the bill in May.
Of course. I mean, I'm drinking all kinds of crazy. I'm drinking Mountain Dews. I'm drinking goddamn protein powders, Gatorades, all of that. I have to go potty. You know what? It doesn't matter. There's like, this is unacceptable for all of work. This is what's made me mad ever since I was 18 years old and they said you can work now. And all of a sudden they cared about when I use the restroom. And like, I don't like when I have to use the restroom. I would have not done it. I would have chose not to do this, but I'm a waste creating thing. And I'm stuck here in a uniform that you fucking provided for me. And I have to go sit on that toilet. So fucking, what are you going to do? How are you going to litigate against that? How are you going to make rules against how we're all supposed to be? Because it seems completely and wildly different from person to person. I've never met another person that's the same experience as me. And all of a sudden we're all being forced into this paradigm.
Yeah, for sure. It's really shit. And I hope it passes, and I hope it leads to more unionization efforts. This is a possible thing to do. It's going to be very hard, but I think a union at Amazon is truly worthy goal.
I think that we can keep it rolling. Because eventually everyone's going to be working for Amazon. And I just hope that the internet can use the influence to get people to revolt against this, because already everybody's like doing part-time work for Amazon. In some way, we're all working for Amazon already. And like, we just have to upend all that. Yeah, absolutely. So, Brett, would you like to give some advice tonight? Would you like to take a trip through maybe some ethical questions from advice columns? What's the basics of your morals?
Well, no.
Is that what that guy said?
I don't remember that. What's the basis of your moral
your
something?
Ethics or something.
Yeah. So let's answer some questions, Brett, from different advice columns. I think I've got 2 questions and then we'll call it a night. But this is Dear Abby. Okay. Everybody in the chat, grab onto something, because this is going to make you grit your teeth in a way that I don't think you're prepared for.
Think Thirsty is right. What is the basis of your morality?
That's it. That is it. Yes. What is the basis of your morality? Here we go. Everybody grab onto something. Maybe put a helmet on. I don't know. This is going to get you. Dear Abby, I'm a 28-year-old mother of 2. My teenage adopted sister steals makeup from stores. It sometimes happens when we're together, but I never catch her doing it. She has told me she feels no remorse about stealing the items. Your sister's badass. My parents and I have lectured her time after time. She's now claiming her friends give her makeup they don't like. I'm exasperated because she doesn't seem to get it. All right, everybody, get ready. Get ready. Would it be wrong of me to tip off the security guard on our next shopping trip? I want her to learn a lesson before it's too late.
No, you need to learn a lesson. You need to be taught something real quick. You need to be snatched up. You need to be stopped. Whatever you're in charge of, not anymore. No, you have too much authority. You have too much. You think you're in charge too much. What are you fucking doing here?
I when I read that sentence, but here's more of this question. Yeah. Okay. I'm exasperated because she doesn't seem to get it. Would it be wrong? Okay, so I said that. I want her to learn a lesson before it's too late. Yet, it could result in juvenile detention and a financial burden on my parents. I love my sister, but I'm worried her habit may lead to an unfortunate adulthood. She has had counseling in the past for numerous issues, but she either lies to her therapist or just sits quietly and says nothing. Please help me, Abby.
I'm pissed about this. This is ridiculous.
I have never heard
you made up something. You know, there's those of us that know that you can bend the rules and we do it constantly. All of you on the outside stay jealous. Don't turn people in that know that they can just grab stuff off the shelf and put it in their pocket and no one will ever know. And here's the thing. It's not a problem until you get caught. If they're good enough to not get caught, then they are at the level that you shouldn't be criticizing. This isn't a cry for help. This isn't somebody blatantly doing things. This is somebody that is comfortable in what they can do. And the target already knows they're losing money to this person anyways. So now you've come in to be the police. You want to be the police. You want to create violence. You're mad. You're jealous that somebody doesn't follow the rules the way you do because you're a fucking bootlicker.
Yeah, I mean, you have a sister. I have 4 siblings. I can't really think of anything beyond
hating on stealing. Nobody that they're hating on stealing is something that can never happen unless you're a 1%er or a 10%er. Unless you make over, if you make over $100,000 a year, then you start hating on stealing. But everyone else, like, we know what it is. Like, nobody, how dare you care about that?
I guess for me, it's like, I tried to figure out who this woman is that wrote this letter. And like, judgy. I know, yeah, she's judgy. Probably talks a lot of shit about her sister to like anybody who will listen. And is the person that wrote this letter is the problem in the family, is really what I believe. Her sister's not the problem. Absolutely. She's the fucking problem.
No, her sister is like a prop to be someone that she's better than.
Yep.
And that's all she's looking for, is a reason to make her sister look bad because she can't be good. Because she can't be good at shit.
Yeah. I mean, her sister, it's the worst. So let's hear what Abby had to say. If you do what you're contemplating and your sister finds out you were the person who turned her in, she will never forgive you for it.
Right on.
I agree that the girl has a serious problem. That's why I'm advising you to tell your parents what has been going on and let them handle it. While my inclination would be to give her a dose of tough love, it would be better if it comes from your parents because they are responsible for her.
And but also, I mean, you stop stealing when you don't have to. When you're young, everybody steals if they're young and they don't have the money. Why is this a bad path? This is a path that like 99% of us went on.
Yeah.
We all stole to get where we're at, and then we didn't have to steal anymore. We stopped.
Totally. You're right about that. You're 100% right about that. So I guess we'll do one last one here. I'm gonna go with this one that I saw a couple weeks ago because I'm interested in your opinion on this. And I think now that we're at the end of the show, I can say I kind of want calls about this piece of advice because I'm interested in people's feelings about it. And I got this from the New York Times. What is it? Social cues advice column. And here we go. I'm staying with my parents until I go back to college in September. A few days ago, while I was driving home, way below the speed limit, the neighbor's dog darted into the street. It looked like he was chasing something. I slammed on my brakes and felt a thud. I got out of the car and saw that I had hit the dog. He was dead. I carried him to my neighbor's house, but no one was home. So I left him on the doorstep. I was going to write a note, but I chickened out. Now the neighbors have posted signs around the neighborhood asking if anyone knows what happened. I feel terrible. Is it too late to speak up?
They thought it was a message. They thought they got message. I thought somebody killed their damn dog and just put it out there like, you better stop what you're doing right now.
Yeah. I mean, if I had to answer for this person, if I was given advice, and maybe I'm a bad person, is how I'm going to answer this. It's too late. It's too late to speak up. Everybody's going to look. It's sad when your dog dies. I understand that.
Yeah. It's devastating.
It's devastating.
Only reason I ever saw my dad cry was when the dog died, not like when any human died.
Yeah. I just think it's too. I just don't know what telling them would solve. Like this is one of those things, and these situations are always interesting to me. It's one of those things where it's like maybe the truth isn't super necessary in this situation.
My opinion is that like it's a funny story. I absolutely would like roll my ass over there and just straight up say I iced that dog. I think you should definitely own up to it and just give them a little bit of closure too, because they want to know what happened. They think that like it's a mob hit or something.
Yeah. I mean, truly also like this isn't. Here's a good for you people who have that in your blood that you have to get this out, right? Like if you have to get this out, anonymous letter. I hit your dog. Yeah, I hit your dog with my car. I'm sorry. But then again,
what you do is like put like a little piece of violet on there and then like wear a violet like on your lapel for the rest of your life until they met you at like a patio somewhere.
TJ Borg says I'd leave a note in the middle of the night, but don't talk to them. And I mean, I like it. It's because here's the thing. We're adults here.
Yeah.
And like, if you had hit the dog and then told them, and yes, off the while in the chat said, don't leave it on the doorstep. Like, don't leave the dog on the doorstep.
Yeah, just go away.
I mean, I don't think you take somebody's dead dog and just leave it on the doorstep without a note or anything like that.
Yeah, I'm not going to touch somebody's dog that I hit, to be honest.
Me neither. I'm afraid to touch things. So it's so here's the answer from the New York Times. It's never too late to do the right thing. You know that. I get that you panicked in the moment. By not telling your neighbors, though, you have added needlessly to their anguish. Could you imagine coming home to a beloved pet lying mysteriously dead at your door? Still, I'm glad you wrote. Let's think of this as a first step in redeeming yourselves.
No.
Tell your parents what happened. They will continue living near your neighbors after you return to college. If for any reason they ask you to keep quiet about the accident, tell them you can't do that. Speaking up will be better and more healing for you and your neighbors. That's all-time bad advice. I have to say that I think that is maybe some of the worst advice I've ever heard. That's all I got to say. Like, you're only doing it for yourself.
Yeah.
If you go over there and like make this happen. And
no, not real. I mean, I don't know. They should know. I don't know. I feel like people wonder.
Yeah, I mean, anonymous note. Anonymous note's the only right answer. That's it. That's all.
No, I would create a bond with them. It's like, we got to go on vacation together to get over this.
Okay.
We got to book a Carnival cruise to like work through this, because it's going to be tough, but it's going to require a lot of effort. But I'm down to do it. I'm down for like a lot of intensive therapy to go through this together, because it was traumatizing to me as well.
Yeah. I agree. I guess my answer is anonymous letter. And
yeah, I mean, if it's not a person, like, you just keep it moving.
Right. I just don't know what the healing is in the end. Like, people, I don't know what this healing is. People have really strange opinions on death and what healing is, and it's really depressing to think like that. Like, you're supposed to get down on your hands and knees and beg for forgiveness for some reason, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, well, thanks for putting this into my life.
Yeah, enjoy it. All right, well, that is Street Fight for the week. Get on the Patreon, everybody. We're doing so much good stuff.
Yeah, we're talking about the worst movies ever made,
but the episodes are incredible. Like, you know, me and you are have always been kind of like optimists in a way.
Yeah.
And this show that Street Fight reviews the MCU, we are not optimists. I would definitely say we are not optimistic about these movies. They are, and I'm serious, no bullshit, the most offensive things I've ever seen. Think about the stuff I've consumed, even just for Street Fight. Think about that. And these movies are the most offensive things I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, I think about all of like Ben Shapiro's hate against cancel culture. Think about Jordan Peterson. I think about all of the powers that they imagine of people to do cancel culture, and I desperately want it to happen to these movies. And I just want somebody to go to jail. I want the Friesberg and Seltzer to go to fucking jail. As an abolitionist, kill them if we have to. If we can't do abolition, we can do execution, because I just don't think they should have been able to do any of this. And it's astonishing that this happened.
They don't do interviews. But I feel like it would be fair, because me and Brett have seen most of this stuff. Most of these movies now. They should come on our show. And let us scream at them for a full 90 minutes.
Tie them down in a chair and make them answer.
I'm going to answer a question in the chat. Worse than the collected works of Mancow from Jushin Thunder Tiger. And I mean, they're both offensive. Mancow is a lot less popular than these movies were. So they do the worst possible stuff So yeah, they do. No, there's not gonna be a Shocktober 9/12 special because Shocktober is about to come out on September 30th. But like, yeah, these movies are offensive. Don't watch them. Just go to our Patreon and listen to our episodes. And I find that to be cathartic and enjoyable. And if you've seen any of these movies, I feel for you. I really do. I wish you didn't have to go through that.
Yeah. Thanks for listening to Street Fight Radio instead of, watching that bullshit. We appreciate all y'all. We are going to do our show later in Pittsburgh. If you got Pittsburgh tickets, that's still happening. Cleveland is canceled. Detroit is canceled. Pittsburgh is the only show we got on the docket coming up on the 17th of September. Check us out. We're going to be at Club Cafe. And then if you want to find the Movie Cinematic Universe podcast and also the first episode of Shocktober, it's coming on patreon.com/streetfightradio where you can sign up. Thanks for being here.
The record is scheduled. Like the first episode's getting done next Monday. So it'll be ready on the 30th.
And I'm Brett Payne on Twitter. He's Murder X Brian. We'll see you on Sunday for the call-in show, 9 p.m. to midnight. We want to hear from you. Let us know what's going on.